Hey guys, how are you going, and welcome back to my channel once again. It is Monday, the sun is shining and the skies are blue. So I did a Melbourne vs London video when I lived in Melbourne, and I'll pop a thingy up there so you can watch that if you want to watch that after this video. Now, a Gold Coast vs Melbourne video just to compare the two different places, and I hope it's helpful for anyone that's going to be moving here, or you know, just if you just want to watch this. So my first comparison of Melbourne versus the Gold Coast is the beaches. Now, Melbourne have some great beaches, especially along like the Great Ocean Road. There are some of the best beaches that I've seen in my life there. But the Gold Coast, the beaches here are just phenomenal. So they stretch from like Main Beach and they pretty much go all the way down to Burleigh. So it's pretty much, Gold Coast is pretty much one long beach strip. The sand is golden yellow. It is warm. The water is so warm. In summer we get up to like 24 degrees of like warmth in the water, which doesn't sound that hot, but when you're in there it's really warm. It's like almost taking a bath, which I just love. Whereas in Melbourne in summer we only get up to highs of like 18, which funnily enough the lows in winter on the Gold Coast are 19 degrees, so it's actually hotter in our winter up here in the ocean than it is in Melbourne in summer, which I just find crazy. And I love doing beach walks. Like I've recently started doing beach walks all the way along the beach, and it makes me like happy, and I find my happy place. Whereas in Melbourne, you know, often it would be grey and cloudy, or the beaches, they are very spread out. Like, so you've got St Kilda, but you've got some on the Great Ocean Road, but there's none that actually close to like Melbourne. You have to go up to Brighton, and it does take time to get there, whereas here I can be at the beach in literally 10 minutes from my house. So, you know, beaches are just a great thing here, and I think they are much better. Now, the next thing is coffee. Now, when I lived in London, coffee was coffee and it was great. And then I moved to Melbourne and I became a connoisseur and a bit of a coffee snob. Good coffee is hard to find. It's about the roast of the bean, it's about the grind, it's about the quality of the milk texture, and there's so much that goes into it. And in Melbourne you have to be like qualified for 5 years to work anywhere good that provides, you know, amazing coffee. Up here on the Gold Coast, I mean, the coffee is better. It's still not that Melbourne kind of style and the look. Now, there are a few places, don't get me wrong, that I have found good coffee at, but they are like they're a little bit hipster, and they've got that kind of Melbourne style to them, so you would expect that anyway. But in general, coffee is just kind of, there's no latte art, there's not really, I mean, there is care that goes into it, but you don't have that same level of expertise and that quality. So in terms of coffee, I always prefer it in Melbourne, and I did go home recently, and one of the first things was I went and got good coffee, and I was just like, yes, this is good coffee, and this is what good coffee tastes like. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the type of people and the kind of people that I think best suit the Gold Coast versus Melbourne. Now, Melbourne is a very hipster city. It's got so much going on. You've got all the laneways, you've got so much culture, so much coffee, so much good food. There's so much theatre there, there's restaurants, there's just so much going on for it. Now, the Gold Coast is a very different lifestyle. It's got the beaches, it's got the clubs as well. So, in my opinion, the Gold Coast is perfect for people in families. You know, you've got the theme parks just up the road as well. There's like 4 theme parks you can go to. I mean, I love theme parks too, so I do have that as a plus on my list. The beaches here, they're designed for families. You know, you go out for the day, you take your esky full of your drinks and everything, and you spend the day at the beach. Clubs. Now, it's a very clubby city. There's not really any like wine bars, which I miss. So now in Melbourne, you've got that, you know, all that culture. You've got loads of wine and cocktail bars, which have got, they're nice, and you can go out and there's music, but it's very subtle in the background that you can actually have a conversation. Whereas here the clubs are very loud and very noisy, and I mean, I'm all up for a good time, and I love clubbing sometimes, but sometimes I do just want to go to a nice bar and have some nice drinks. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple of places here, but there aren't like the hundreds that there are in Melbourne. The Gold Coast is great for old people, families, or people that love to club and kind of party, whereas Melbourne is kind of for your modern professional, you know, you're going out after drinks or work, like your theatre kind of crowd. So there are 2 different types there, and I mean, I love them both, but as a whole and kind of a lifestyle, I do prefer Melbourne, and ideally that would be where I would you know, like to spend more time, because it does suit my personality more. There are great things on the Gold Coast, but I do prefer that in Melbourne. Another thing Now, this isn't just a Melbourne versus Gold Coast thing, this is more of a Victoria versus Queensland and the rest of the country thing. Now, for some reason, Queensland don't do daylight saving, which is, you know, it's okay, I suppose. But the issue is, I believe on the Gold Coast you have to be a morning person, and I'm very much a morning person, so it doesn't really affect me that much. Like, the sun rises here at like 4:40 in summer, but it's gone by 6 o'clock in the evening, so half six the sun's going down. Whereas in Melbourne the sun doesn't get up till like 7:30, 8ish, and then it's there till like 8 o'clock at night. So you want to go for that morning walk along the beach, you can. You can watch sunrise in Melbourne more realistically than you can here. But we are on the East Coast and they do have the best sunrises here. So, you know, you have to be up at like 4:30 to go to the beach, which, you know, I have done a couple of times and it is a great, you know, experience and feeling. But yeah, daylight saving is one of those things that it's just really annoying. I just wish either the rest of the world didn't do it or Queensland did it. Like, it just, there's no need for some places to do it and some places to not do it. I feel like it should be a worldwide kind of, you know, generic thing. And apparently it was all for the cows anyway, and, you know, cows don't know what time it is, so I think that they should just scrap it all together or just bring it in, you know, like it just moves the clock by an hour, so you have that later start in the day and you have that later finish. So if you want to do stuff after work, because I find sometimes when I do finish work, like if I finish at like 5 or 6 o'clock, I feel like the night's gone and I kind of come home, watch TV, go to bed, because there's not that, you know, light. Whereas in Melbourne, like after work, I'd go for like a bar and you can like watch the sunrise over like a rooftop garden, and, you know, it's just that nice feeling. So yeah, they are my things, guys. Comparing Melbourne versus the Gold Coast, they both have their pros and they both have their cons. But I think for me and my personality, I would say that Melbourne is better suited for me. But I am older. I'm like 26. So, you know, I've gone past that kind of clubby stage. I'm not retired yet. I don't have a family. Whereas Melbourne has got all the other stuff for me. So Melbourne, I think, is best suited for me, but I hope that helps you. And, you know, if you are coming to Australia or you're deciding on where to go, you know, that gives you kind of a summary of what is good and what is bad. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, show me some love by hitting the thumbs up button, leave me a comment down below and I will reply to you as well, and hit subscribe, making sure you hit that bell button, because every time you press that it helps me out. But also every Monday when I upload new videos, you are the first person to get them, and if there are any sneak videos in between as well, you will be there. I will see you very soon for another video. Bye, guys.